weird though? You and Andy together. My last name is Stefin, and my first name is Andrew, the same as him. So the two of you guys combined make my name. What a mind trip, right?
Wake the farm up. Yeah, welcome to the Wake the Farm Up Maintaining Ground podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. Today we're going to be exploring some amazing fun topics that are all woven together with music festivals. We've got crazy foods of the world that come up as ever in this show. We'll be talking with Jungle Jim of Jungle Jim's International Market, which is well known in the Midwest. People travel from very far to go and explore this store. It's a fascinating place. We also have Tim Matthews, who's been doing edible landscaping in the Cincinnati area for over 25 years, because I remember working with him back then and doing some projects. It's pretty fascinating. And we have some other amazing people coming in, so welcome to the show. Ande the Elf, your host, with Stefin in the Lab Sita, recorded live November 7th. 2022. From the audience, we have lots of voices asking questions and participating. Here we go.
Yeah.
Andy. Here we go. All right. We're gonna wake the farm up. Everybody gather around, get a seat. If you wanna chill out and sit down, 'cause we got stories about to be found. Got stories, right? What's going on, you guys? How you doing? Feel good? Yeah. All right, they don't want to sit down. This is fun. We're dancing tonight too. All right. Yeah, there was a reason I had more room here and had this chair set up a little bit further back tonight, because we wanted to make sure we could move around a little bit more than we have been in the past while we're talking. It's just fun. Makes it a little more natural. We're going for, it's a little more full human experience, being able to move our bodies while we're talking. I'll give you an example here, just like I'm sitting down here reading a little book, and I really want to read something from this part to over here where I'm sitting. I can't even see it. So we are presenting the concept of Host Day preppers. Preppers preparing for a more beautiful world. A hopeful future. Fuck all them doomsday preppers. Fuck all them hoping there's going to be an apocalypse or a zombie attack or a nuclear bomb. It's time to manifest a pleasant future and visualize it. One that feels and is focused and supports the wild and human animal self and nurtures humanity. Otherwise, the system needs a reboot or just to be booted. Let me go wake the farm up. Woo! Wake the farm up. Live show episode 3. We got a great bunch of fun things happening here. I think one of the funnest things to say is we got a Jim Tim. We got a Jim Tim thing happening here. Just like a fun little chime. It's almost like this could be just like the storybook, chapter 3 here that just brings me to another place with this whole show. Where it could go. Alright. We got Stefin over here necromancing with the music of the emotions and feels of the room. So you'll feel it here, like shortly, that little things that you do when you come and do different noises. It's amazing, like just the effects that come over here. How you doing, Stefin?
Super duper amazing. Super duper amazing. Fantabuloso. You guys get a little touch of the screen and see that all our stuff is stuff that we are really allowed to use. And they're not going to bleep out any of these stuff because we got music in it. Because we made it. In-house.
Yep.
In the lab.
Fresh
Okay.
creation. So our themes for this evening here: music festivals, edible landscaping, and crazy mother farming foods. Sure. You guys like those topics, right?
Yeah.
Fun things to explore.
Talk about it.
All right. What's something you would think about with music festivals, Stefan? I just want to get like a little Stefan, like, I know he's told me about amazing things like the, what's some of the big jams in Hawaii? Some of your favorite ones.
So groovy.
So
Talk
many
about
good
music
ones,
festivals.
huh?
I've been to music festivals and they've affected me. And I've been affected by the things that I ingested while I was at the festivals. I'm not quite sure. I would be curious, what's a festival anyone else has been to this year?
I just got back from Halloween just
What's
the
up
other
with
day,
that?
which is definitely why I knew I had to come onto this podcast. It's just fresh on my mind right now. This is like amazing energy. Got to be part of a big art install that involved planting plants and taking care of some of the landscape there through invasive, cutting back some of it and using some of those as materials to weave these giant nests that you could go and kind of just nestle in and hang out in the middle of the music festival.
Thank you.
Oh, there you can find them. They're up there. Halloween, the elemental sanctuary of duality. Yeah, we had this giant Ginecko statue that was in the gardens there that was belching fire out the top of it. And people would bring in offerings. The offerings there actually started because early in the build there, I had a bag of peanuts because I picked up a bag of peanuts. I love boiled peanuts when I'm traveling. They're easy, they're hearty. And so I brought, I figured an elephant god statue thing would probably love some peanuts. So I put it there in its little hand. And by the end of the festival, that little hand was full of so many things. It was amazing. Yeah. It was a really cool build, working with a community of people down there and being around Halloween, amazing costumes in the middle of the music festival. So, yeah, very fun time. The best costume. Wow, there were so many for different moments. I think one was this guy, he said his name was Awesome Powders. And he looked like Austin Powers straight up, like the way he was like quirking his body and everything. It was pretty bizarre. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. There was amazing, funny ones. There was amazing, like almost just amazing, beautiful. This one lady had a peacock glowing outfit that spanned out 30 feet. And she had to have like escort dancers that were like miniature versions that were danced around her as she walked through. That was amazing. Yeah.
Right. Why you ain't take us though?
Hey, I don't know how that worked, but I guess that they had like record music festival sales. They sold out 20,000 tickets within a week. It's like the most, like if that's happened, anything after COVID especially.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one thing I really like. There's appreciation I have for how that whole festival was handled. There was a group called Green Dot that would go, and they were all psychologists, and they would help people that were having mental issues or breakdowns or were passed out in the middle of the pathway somewhere for some reason, and they would find out why and make sure they were comforted. And things of that nature, which helped a lot of people.
Were they doing like acid and mushroom and stuff?
Yeah, people did all kinds of things
But
there.
that probably helped them.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that. Like, let's support us where we at.
Yeah, and they would have to figure out what that person had mixed in their day. Figure out how to get them revived and know they're loved and not like beaten by some police
The
force.
police, right? Don't call the police.
It was
Call
really
them.
beautiful how they were able to like hold that space and keep a lot of people safe. One of the funniest things I saw in Florida though was a poster that said, "Vote DeSantis, make America Florida." It just made me laugh so much. I'm just like, okay.
Can we talk about the outfit?
And during the build, I got to go out and collect plants from different nurseries. And on one of the stops there, I got to see Florida's champion live oak tree. It was 10 foot in diameter, and at the trunk, you know, like it measured around 29 feet in circumference. It was over 400 some years old, massive old oak tree, and just definitely walking through there for a person like me is magical, and definitely made the whole trip down south worth it to me. It was like visiting the great elder wise tree, literally.
What was the landscape like around it?
The landscape around it was rolling hills, sandy. The rivers near there were all white sand-edged rivers. It was really beautiful to see. Strange, like fossil-formed rocks. There were just like large chunks of tubular rock forms. Totally tubular.
Is this in North Florida?
So, some of what we were working with too is a lot of different mosses and lichens, and there was probably like 20 something different species that we identified and worked with, which was fascinating, just their different colors, and then to see them after a rain and how they would like brighten up in these different hues.
That's cool.
It was neat to be like part of something that was my work,
Yeah.
right? Just down there in Florida, waking the farm up. Got to visit amazing, it's the Pando Palm Farm. The Pando Palm is one of the only edible fruit palms that get a fruit that you can eat it right off the tree, and it's kind of like a jelly flavored fruit. So it was neat to see those palms, and I visited another place that had a palm collection that had over 300 different palms and synads. And in there I read that there's like over 3,000 something different kinds of palms. I was just like amazed, like, okay, that's a whole other realm of plants to study, huh? Jeez.
Yeah.
So many, where they grow and how they've moved around in the tropics, you know, over the last hundreds of years, like where they were originally growing and when they got to different places. There's so many fascinating stories in every single plant. So, moving into tonight's show. Out here in our audience, I know we got a Tim and a Jim, but if we got anybody else that wants to come up tonight for a minute or 2 minutes, I'd give you a minute or 2 minutes if anybody wants to. And give me a big Jim or a big Tim. Come on.
Are you gonna time it again?
What the
Do you have a timer?
I got timers and stuff.
What time is it timed on, folks?
Is this one?
World time, eternal
No, I'm
time.
even working with it.
That might should be on. Is it on?
All right, we got Tim Matthews.
Yeah, if I talk normal.
Like if you talk like normal, like hi, how's it going?
Hi, I'm normal guy right now.
I'm my genuine self.
My name
Yeah, there you go.
Andy,
That's right.
and I'm normal guy. I don't
It's
do
actually a pretty
anything
good
weird
conversation.
ever. Never would,
Never.
never would do anything weird.
Never.
Tim, would you know me to have ever done anything weird?
Let's break down an outfit
Is
though.
that a weird thing to ask?
Can we break down an outfit
You're-
before we go into this?
shit.
Is that a weird thing to ask for?
I mean, is it visual?
We need to record this.
Never
Because
Are you
it makes it so much
visual?
better.
Oh, this is just for you.
I mean, I am thoroughly enjoying it. Can you describe what's the inspiration
For the fans in
whole
New
outfit
Zealand so they
today?
can picture it.
I mean, this is the whole situation.
Truth,
From the
fair
head
truth,
to the
Andy.
toes, like, this is a part of the experience. Please explain the motivation.
It needs
I'm
a
curious.
video with it. This, you need to put a picture of this. Can we? We're gonna put
I'm
a picture
not
of this.
even understanding why we're not filming this.
Thank
Well,
you, Patrice.
honestly, for the
Voice
last
of
several
reason in the
weeks,
house.
this is pretty much how I've been dressing every day. So I felt really comfortable in it, so I just put it on.
That makes sense.
And I was
Yeah,
like
I
still
love
moving
that.
through the Halloween spirit, you know, I was like getting a
Yeah.
little weirder with my
You
outfits.
have to write that tone about
Love
it.
it.
Yeah. I love the blue.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So royal and strong.
It's just for us, though. That makes
The
me
bow
feel
tie,
special
just to
that
like,
he
you
could
know,
do
like,
this
I'm
just
a
for
black
us.
man.
And it's
And
like
it didn't have any intention or thought that anyone else would see it but us.
I mean,
And I want to tell you thank you for that,
Coming
Andy.
through very well.
It's
I
a
find
crushed-
that special.
crushed velvet tie. He
Yeah.
has a crushed velvet bow tie. I mean, give props to
That's
that.
actually probably the best part.
I mean, isn't
Let's
I
get
mean,
the full
to me-
crowd. Can we get a full
Yes.
crowd? Thank you, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you were all very dressed well. It's so nice. You guys are
Yeah.
You're all good. Looking
I mean,
good.
Thank you,
you
my
know,
mom
I
dressed me.
brought the fancy dress.
Introduce yourself as you would like. I want to give you 2 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes. You can say whatever, however you like. You know, you can do a poem. You can sing to us. All right. But I'm gonna time it, and then when 2 minutes is up, then we can start asking questions, and we'll have a good time.
All right. Well, I was
You
thinking.
go anyway.
I was thinking since one of our topics is about food, and you were talking about my kids, I was thinking about how important food is when you're raising your kids and introducing them to the wide world of foods, and the experiences we had taking them to markets and things, and what that's done for them, not only as far as like. It's opened up their brain to accepting new experiences, even if they're not ready for it. So in our family, we had, a rule where they had to at least wholeheartedly, openly try something, at least just once. Just take a good bite of something, which has made them, such well-rounded eaters. So as I see my older kids becoming adults, it makes me feel really good when I see the choices that they make out on their own, and I think, but that's because of the influence of their mother and myself and all the people that we wanted to surround them with. It was very important, for them to be raised with, having those experiences so they could even be able to make good choices for themselves, which, it's funny how that works out in all walks of life, even in like our modern day workforce, and we hear people complaining about our workforce, but we have a tendency to do everything for our kids because it's just easier to not even put up with it. But what makes me proud of my kids, sometimes it was hard, being a parent and raising them and having them work and do things, and having expectations. I expected them. And now, as adults, at least my first 3 that are into adulthood, they are the kind of people that are desirable, as, employees or, people that others want to collaborate with or build things with, which makes me really proud. And the thing is we did that, society's not going to raise our kids for us. I mean, it has the best of intentions, but really, we got to start, stop bitching about, how we just have these lazy workforces and whatnot when, here's the thing, like, I have to remind myself sometimes now, I'm the adult. Like, I'm an adult now. I'm in my mid-40s, and I often forget, like, that I'm the adult, and I get to make the rules. Right? Like, I'm not just a kid anymore, and,
Grow up, Tim.
right? And I get to make
You
the
don't
rules,
tell me, no, I tell you,
and I get to, like, raise, the children, that become the adults of tomorrow.
Yeah, and this is an adult show. So that's great that you came here. You're an adult. That's what you got to tell us in 2 minutes. Because you just made content, you're an adult. That's crazy, dude. I'm an adult.
Well, this is like
I'm 536. I know, you got your birthday, dude. We're birthday brothers. So this is something I remember about this guy right now, too. like we haven't seen each other a whole lot in the last couple of decades. But every birthday, we have the same birthday. One of us will tag each other like got you first.
That's my alter ego over here. It's funny, actually I've only met.
I'm 536 and you're like
one
2
other
years,
guy
1 year older
has
than
that
me.
birthday. I'm 77.
Okay.
I'm 45.
Yeah, I'm 32.
Yeah.
So babies.
Right. He hasn't aged since he was a baby. Yeah.
1932. That's when I was born.
Yes.
That's how long elves live.
Well, in the elf years, really,
it's just,
he's still a teenager.
I like things mysterious like that sometimes, right? It's fun.
Who knows?
So, like, what on your hat here? Your hat says "Beautiful Earth LLC."
Yeah.
Is that your company?
Yeah, that was my company.
Nice. That's current, contemporary company.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, it is. Which is funny because I actually brainstormed that name when I was. It's funny because I actually brainstormed that name when I was hanging out with you.
That's awesome. I remember you guys were called like Family Roots, something like that.
Oh yeah, so we started off as Eco Roots Family. Sorry,
Eco Roots
Family.
Yeah.
Which obviously you get the what that would lead you to think of. And that's when we did start off doing the edible landscaping primarily, but it was a hard world because even organic was really kind of looked at as when you were really like just this weird hippie, or as you really put into this this box, and it wasn't mainstream. And thank God, like places like Wild Oats, or like or locally like Jungle Gyms, or some of the other places that we had around here that would serve have some organic selection that most people didn't have, and it was really weird. So certainly having an edible garden or landscape was totally some
Fresh
weird
territory.
It was, and
I remember one of your like simple packages you were able to put together for people was a ground cover of strawberries, blueberry bushes, and I would see you would put like the proper, for the area you would put the proper amounts of soil nutrient additives to like make the blueberries actually grow too.
well, that's something that's really important to understand.
Tell us about that.
The kind of soils that you want to grow, and it's not just a landscape that you're planting, especially when you're. I don't want to make it biased to any certain specific plant, because when you're planting, you want to have love. You want to have love for what you're planting. You want to have love for the soil that you're planting, and you want to have an understanding that these plants are going to need certain kinds of food to make them grow healthy and strong. And just a little basic knowledge goes a long way. Where like blueberries, want an acidic, soil composition. Well, that's something that you're only going to find in very specific spots here in Ohio, right? So in a garden, we're kind of making these very situational gardens that aren't really native to the spot, but you still want to have love and build soil quality. Pine fines, and acidic things like that. Good composted soils. People forget that.
Yeah.
So blueberries.
Yeah, we can go a lot of directions with that. I
We could.
don't know about I kind of want to explore the blueberries a little bit more. Like you just said that too. Like I've explored them. Like the ones that have grown well for me. I put a lot of peat moss in at the beginning, and then I put a organic sulfur into the soil. Certified organic product. That was years ago. I haven't since. I keep them mulched with. I rake up different like pine needles, white pine. I rake up cypress needles off of driveways and collect it into perfect mulch form. It smothers out any kind of weed, so I don't have to weed anything. So
I highly recommend mulching any of your blueberries or acidic loving plants with some sort of pine needles or something.
Pretty too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a question. I really do. This is so organic as well. I was started reading about pine needle tea. Anyone tried it in here?
I have not.
No.
I
Oh,
have
yeah.
to
It's
eat
not
it.
tea. It's pine needles.
Like every
What?
winter.
Wait, what?
It's probably just pine needles.
What
not
is tea? It's leaves.
Tea's
Yeah, you can just
Sound
chew
like
on the
spice.
pine needles.
Oh, that sound like a whole
Compared to-
pine.
I mean,
No, tea's a specific plant.
okay. Well, pine.
Is tea
okay,
a
so
specific plant?
I get what you're, okay, so.
Why?
But you can make teas from different plants.
Right, that's what I thought. You
Yeah.
can
Oh,
kind of
well,
take
this is a
anything.
Yeah,
interesting
like,
Learn
we're
us.
talking about tea.
He's
conversation.
He's
Dude, I love
learn
it.
us.
Jim, he's coming in. He's pulling in here.
But
Guys,
let's talk about pine
We'll get-
needle.
we'll get-
I
Yeah,
want to
we'll
talk
get-
about it.
This isn't a heckle show
That's
too
what
much.
it's called.
Let me tell you, this isn't too much a heckle. This is a Tim show right
It
now.
wasn't a tea.
And
You
we're
had a
gonna keep-
pine
well,
needle.
calm down there,
infusion.
Jim.
He
All right.
had a pine needle
Thank
infusion.
Pine needle
Put the
infused.
brakes on.
He had a pine needle infusion.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
No,
oh
he
my
was-
God.
I serious question.
I took thunder on
No, I mean really.
Nice, Stefin.
But sincerely
Nice,
about,
dude. I love that's all. Yeah, totally, man.
and then like pine bark, and you can eat pine bark. I'm
Yeah.
like,
So how was the pine
I
needle?
was-
There's different kinds of pines.
I
There's
started
some that are
watching
gonna
these
be
YouTube
toxic.
videos
So
about
just like the white pine, the pine.
I started wondering where's the first place it's
There you
going to
go.
serve pine needle tea, and I kind of was thinking secretly it'd be fun to open a place called Pine Needle Tea.
I
It
love
could be
it.
right here
Just
in this
showing that.
basement.
Anyway, I was curious if,
Right on the
when you
corner.
said with the pine needles and doing the different stuff with the pine needles, I think it's like I went down this road of the pine tree and all the edible. Oh, and then the pineal gland. That's what it was.
Oh.
I started seeing these ancient. There's all these old things with pine cones. And so all these old symbols and everything, it started taking me down this road of like, oh yeah. So about that is somehow it does apparently help with the mind somehow maybe. I'm just throwing this out.
Yeah,
But
like
check
at
it out,
music
these-
festivals,
these
you see
ancient
all these
symbols,
people
pine
wearing
cones.
these like polished pine cones.
I'm out.
And they're just
Oh,
like
yeah.
polished down and they put in like phosphorescent like geodesic forms and
And they're kind of
they
like a
lay
pine cone
different
disco ball.
stones. You know what I'm talking about,
Pine
right?
cone disco ball?
Pine cone disco ball, you call it that? Okay, I like that.
Shoots off all kinds of colored
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. It's pineal gland shit, right?
That's right.
That's what Stefan was talking about. So we're validating you, Stefan.
Yeah.
So
blueberries.
validated. Hear you.
So as far as
So
like
these
edible
blueberries.
landscaping
That's
goes,
a
Yeah,
whole nother
we're out here with these birds and
conversation.
shit, you know,
Not
right?
right here.
I love it.
That's
Outside
what
my
you
favorite
really
is
like.
cheese.
That's your own show.
So
There's a lot of things.
blueberries just make such a handy edible landscaping plant because they really can do it all. They're edible, they're beautiful, they turn, bright red.
So this
and
thing
the
here,
fall
Tim,
time,
like
all
I've
that.
discovered in our area over time, there's a honeyberry which is related to honeysuckle, which grows freaking extremely easily without
Is
having
it
to like
native?
put imported
Is it
peat
from
moss or
Europe?
anything into it. It's just like bleep, and it starts making these elongated looking little blueberries,
Oh, yes.
and they're super
Right.
cold hardy.
Is that
They're
Lonicera?
it's a lonicera, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've
there's,
seen that.
they also call them haskapes.
Okay.
They're from Hokkaido, Japan, and Siberia originally. But they grow well here. They don't like spread seeds around like the other bush honeysuckles or vining honeysuckles
Right, right.
do.
That's one of the beautiful things
Yeah.
about this.
But then one time I went up to northern Indiana to the Indiana Berry Company there, and I was looking at the fields there, and they had fields of blueberries, amazing old bushes.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy
What does
said,
that look like?
the guy said they were about almost 100 years old.
Like, are they all like the same color? They all
They're
like
in
grow
little
in different
rows.
stages?
Yeah,
They're
These
little
mounded
rows, and they're
rows.
kind of hedged
Yeah.
into like a column
Is this a U-pick
place.
So it's like granddaddy's.
I don't think it was a U-pick
Is
place.
this a commercial?
Yeah, they
production?
drive through with these like little machines and shake the bushes, and they're kind of turning for that shape.
Yeah.
But big blueberry farm, they're almost 100 years old.
Wow. That's
And I
neat.
asked him what he had to do to get them to, like what people had to do to get them to grow like that, and he said around there you can just take cuttings, cut them, and stick them in the ground, and boom, they grow.
Wow.
And they'll just
That's
keep
cool.
growing.
It's
Like-
like
That's when you can look at, observation, like take a look at what's growing in your area, and that's kind of where I deduced, like I want to try these honeyberries that are related to honeysuckle. They do fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I get
And that's the
berries out
problem
the
with
farm,
blueberries
dude.
around here is they just don't do very well unless you really, really take care of them. I found, and your average homeowner for say like a they're not gonna be able to invest the kind of time to really, I feel, to make the blueberries work very well. I think you're hit or miss with those. Some people, it's just amazing. You're like, I don't know how this is so big and beautiful, but you did it. You know, and you know, in other places you're just really weak, so you can come up with solutions like you're saying, like this
Different varieties.
service berry is another one that you could use instead. You know,
I
that just
definitely
grows
had
awesome.
service berries are like they don't work where I live because there's so many cedar trees and there's a vector between those two species. So where there's a lot of cedar trees, you get a lot of apple cedar rust.
Yeah, sure.
So it's hard to grow apples there. It's hard to grow service berries. Like all the fruit just like looks like a little coronavirus with these like little like phosphorescent
Yeah, like
red
it's like
looking
polyps or
things,
whatnot.
spikes coming out of it,
Yeah,
and not even the birds will eat them.
yeah.
So yeah, I've cut a lot of really old service berries back that I've just had hope for, and I'm just
Well, that's
adapting
another
and changing my
observational
system as I
thing
go
that you
and
have
I
to
live
make
in it.
is what's doing well in your area. Again, there you go. Like,
I want to
using
hear
that on
your
this.
observations. Tim was telling me he's been in his homestead since 2004. Yeah. And
Wow.
that's like before like Damian Marley came out with Jam Rock, just for like musical reference. And you have that in your
I have
memory.
another question real quick before I genuine one. What about this tree right back here? The one, what kind of berries was on it this year?
Which tree right back
Persimmon.
The mulberry?
Mulberries.
A mulberry. Love
Okay.
those.
I
So
hate
again, we used to
variety.
teach our kids, you know, to eat, you know, things
Just throwing that out there
mulberries and
about that,
we had
like
mulberry
not
patches,
blueberries, but
pawpaws.
you asked about what grows well here,
You
and
didn't
man,
make a
that
mulberry
tree,
pie?
Yeah, mulberries are great, but
Was-
they can get pretty invasive too.
but they're
And they make-
delicious.
Yes. So you want to plant them like in the back corner of your property or something where
Man.
they're not going to stain your car.
And they don't sell them at the store. You can't buy. I never can buy them
I
at the
guess
grocery
just
store.
maybe like to clarify,
Throw it
like
out
I
there.
think the brain vision in our conversation here was kind of in this like landscape realm, and like we're kind of talking like blueberry bush, like being this kind of certain shape and size, and fruit kind of being this certain flavor and shape, color even, and how
Yes.
they're similar, almost like an analog in a design work. If
Right.
you're like laying out plants, like this could be used here instead of this.
Right.
Where a mulberry is going to be incorporated into a different pattern in that design, just for the nature of how they grow.
Sure.
Is that one you ever use, or
Oh
is
yeah,
that one people? Yeah.
I got mulberries.
I
eat them.
usually don't
use
plant them. I just pick them.
I pick
Because
them.
they're just
Yeah.
everywhere, easy.
Actually,
I
I end
pick
up
them up.
landscaping. I end up digging a lot of those out because they're growing out from the side of people's garages and
Really?
things like that. They just the birds love to eat those things and they just poop them anywhere they want. They'll start growing.
And there's a thing called tree hay. So I have like goats and I've had miniature horses and donkey and different animals I've had to feed. And in the end of the summer when the grass isn't growing as much, you can harvest your mulberry cuttings and coppice them or pollard them, where you just cut the shoots off from that year's growth and throw it in there with them, or lay it down for them and they'll eat it. It's like it's
a
made
little
the
extra
best
fiber.
butter and cows that I've given it to. My friend Joe Hartman, that was on this show before, and had a cow that we fed mulberry branches to one summer, and
Wow.
it made the best buttery milk.
Oh.
So good.
How was
Okay.
So
how
it's
was the
just like really
how was the
high in
hamburger?
nutrients. Like the mulberry. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, you like
Do you
that.
think that works for
You like the
any
butter,
mothers?
but
Do you
even
think
like-
we could
like
feed that
even
to any
for-
mothers, mulberry branches and
I think we could.
Yeah.
I think it would make really good milk for making really good babies,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
right.
So I mean, even the leaves themselves, you can juice them like through a wheatgrass juicer, and get a juice out that's better than wheatgrass because you're getting nutrients from a tree, not from like a little plant in a tray, like a little plastic cubicle tray. You get leaves
Yeah.
from a tree,
Little
like
baby
roots.
Like why
Little
go to
babies.
go to the source
Otherwise.
instead of the right? Go to the source, kind
The
of.
source.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
what you're saying, source. Yeah.
Doesn't get any closer to the earth than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about some what are the kind of projects you've been excited about in the last, decade or something. What are some of the coolest things that you've gotten to experience as a fun project?
Oh man.
Or just even your own project, homestead, fun stuff.
Oh man.
Oh man.
You
DM
know,
faking.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those gears are grinding right now. That's right. Honestly, I don't really think in terms like that. I just kind of just keep doing. And
Now.
right. Yeah, I'm just living right now and presented with right now.
Right.
And I mean, I do have to build towards the future. And
That's
so.
a really cool project right now.
So.
This is a cool project too.
This is a great project.
I'm glad you're up here.
Hey, I'm glad you said that because honestly, this is one of the most exciting things I've done in a while. And I've done a lot of really exciting things.
This is exciting, right?
And really just sitting in your presence right now is like amazing because we never get to see each other. So this is like super special to me, man.
Reflections.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. So as far as things are going, it's I've been running this landscaping business that because of the way that of having so many children when I was young, I was already doing conventional landscaping. So it's funny because I sneak edible things into my landscapes all the time that a lot of homeowners don't really know or even really care about.
There's some amazing ones. Like, do you know about epimedium?
Yes.
You know that plant?
Uh-huh.
What do you know about it? Tell me a little.
I know nothing about it other than it's
Oh,
pretty. I mean,
that it's pretty?
Yeah.
I mean, how would you describe
I'm always
them?
surprised.
They're kind of like little
Yeah.
tiny daffodils almost looking things when they bloom. And then they get those little heart-shaped leaves.
And what are they good for?
Well, you can buy them at truck stops. They're also called horny goat weed.
Oh, that's what
Okay.
Let that be the
Does it work? Does it work?
It's amazing, like how many older retired people that I've worked for have large patches of that, and I have looked, to see for grazing, and I have noticed grazing patterns on them. So who knows?
I think that you're the one
Probably
that actually
works.
taught me that I could eat the nepeta, not
catnip?
nepeta.
The
No, it wasn't
catnip?
nepeta. No, I'm sorry. It was,
Down people.
well, red bud. I think you might have showed me I could eat the red bud flowers, which are actually pretty tasty.
Yeah, that's Stefin. That's one that I would describe as tasted like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches off of a tree.
Not chocolate. Yeah,
like
well,
sweets.
we've informed everyone about your taste buds.
Yeah. You find some of those milk duds I was telling you about.
But if you ever taste chocolate,
Hey.
pre-processed
You
chocolate,
ever eat the hackberries, Tim?
No, I have not.
Okay, you gotta try that sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, while you got strong teeth, because when you got strong teeth, you bite into them,
Before
and
you
that little
go
shell,
bad.
that little shell inside it just crunches down, and the seed just bursts open. It's like this milky gusher, coming out.
No, I used to chew that.
Milk dud gusher.
you're just
He make living in the
It's
outside just seem the sexiest shit in the world. Come on, let's hang up. We all going outside. We all just want to living outside.
That's why I show up for this.
Everything we
It's
need.
inspiring.
We
It
don't
really
need nothing
is.
else.
Yeah.
There's
What
so
else do
many
we need?
amazing
Thanks for that
things out there.
reflection,
Like,
because it is
Yeah,
cool
that
to
works.
Like
think
while
through
we
it
got
like
Tim
that.
here, Tim, tell us, like if you could do it fast or however you want to, maybe just one plant, or what are your top 12 favorite plants? Or what's your top favorite if it's such a favorite you want to talk about it for a second longer?
That's
I
the
gave you
problem.
a
Is I
right.
don't have any favorite plants, but we could talk about cold hardy figs. We could talk about cold hardy figs. So tell me about your cold hardy figs this
You
year.
guys have favorite plants, right?
Oh.
In real life,
Oh,
we're enjoying
gotcha.
it, and we're right
Gotcha,
here,
gotcha.
and we're getting
Well,
one.
I have to say one plant does champion them all. You're right.
Thank
No,
you.
Okay,
thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
Tim.
That's
Tim's
great.
about to reveal his favorite plant.
Okay.
Broccoli.
Give us the broccoli,
I
y'all.
definitely don't like
Suck
it when you
up.
smoke on my broccoli.
Get up, girl.
Chop it,
That's right.
chopping
You
it up,
chop that up.
chopping it up.
That's right. You can eat it.
Why
and smoke
broccoli?
it. That's right.
Alright, bro.
Because you can do it a lot of different
I would
ways.
have to say, the champion plant that could save the universe would definitely be cannabis, and we should be allowed to plant that in our landscape freely. I get often asked to do tropical type landscapes here in Ohio, which
Oh,
are
yeah?
some great things to use, like pawpaw, which is a great edible plant to put in
Very
a
tropical
landscape.
looking when you get a patch of it.
That's right.
I have a wild patch that I just leave thick. Usually if you want more fruit, you cut them out. So you kind of thin them a little bit and then they'll make more fruit. But it's fun just to have a thick wild patch because when you walk through it in the summertime, the leaves are so cool and soft on your skin. It feels very tropical.
Yes, I love that for a tropical feel. And you definitely could plant cannabis for your edible landscape. And
You can
And
do that in Ohio now?
I mean, what does
Why
an edible
not?
landscape cost? What does it look like? I mean, can we have a little edible landscape in our front yard, backyard? How much space we need for that? Like, I'm like, I'm wondering,
that's
like, what is that? 'Cause I would rather go to my backyard versus Kroger's, but I didn't know if it was question time. I'm sorry.
no, Patrice,
No, that's
awesome. I'd say that's fair.
Yeah.
Right. So in the
I mean, 'cause I just want to go outside and eat, like outside, like walk, like go out my door and just eat.
Yeah, that's where
like
you want it.
outside
You want it.
my house.
Yeah, you want to
Just
touch.
following Andy.
You want to
Yeah,
touch
like
the
trees,
nursery
like,
outside
oh,
the
look at the mushrooms and the berries they
Yeah.
grew, like that way. The chickens that.
But we just end up
Well-
picking poisonous things and like dying on the street.
Yeah, I know.
I
And
find
then
those
camp
designs to be
trails.
very living, breathing designs, and they're really
interactive.
yeah, they're really hard to estimate. So essentially, I'd say as a person asking a contractor to install an edible landscape for you from scratch. I mean, definitely your best thing is going to be considering how much money you have to spend, period. Because their labor is not cheap, and if you want real good pros to do this, that know what they want.
Well, there's
Or
the
not
time
going to
scale
do
part of
that.
it too. If you want to do it like slower over time, you
Well,
know, like a lot of like
so-
projects, you need a nursery of
That's
stock
where I'm going
and plants.
with this too, is that these things take time to develop.
So if you
You
can
know,
get
so
like
you-
one comfrey
You
plant and
establish
then
with what you
multiply
can
it.
get for what money you can spend now, and you kind of have a greater goals to work for, and it's, if you just
So I'm
can't
seeing,
get
so it looks like
it
we
all
need to
at
see the
once.
value proposition.
right.
So it means that it'll cost you maybe this much in the front, but it
Right.
save you from going to the store
You would get that. It's all-
forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or for the basic things, you don't have to go around the counter. You'll have
So,
everything you need. Like,
That's
so we'll
funny.
need to see that value proposition to see like how we
Absolutely.
can save by this initial investment by doing our own work. But anyways, this
So,
ain't my turn.
well, right. So
Yeah,
to get on that
that
topic, really, of a professional installation to save you money, you're going to have to look at it a little bit like installing solar. A lot of it is just to start instilling a little bit of independence. It's not about immediate payback. You want to separate yourself from the system, and trust where your food is coming. It doesn't get any more local than your own spot. However, the reality of being able to grow enough food to feed yourself and your family for a year, that's a very daunting, task to try to undertake. It requires a lot of time.
Yeah, if you're
and
trying to go
smart planning.
100%, I'm not
And it
gonna
takes a lot, and it
eat
takes a
pizza
long
or
time
whatever,
to
you know?
develop
It's like, come
your
on,
site for
like
that.
the connection there that you can get, even if it's like 1% of some wild foraged item, it's amazing. Like that connection, like even to a garden. Like when you travel to a new place, you eat a local something from somebody's garden that you meet, and it like puts you in your whole body gets like a certain energy of place.
right.
It's like a
That's right.
cellular level connection.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you get
like,
more
maybe
nutrition
you're not
from it,
100%
so
only eating that, but imagine
cosmic
that. It
level.
could be fun, right? Like, I mean, sometimes I've been there for days
so-
at a time, and it's amazing.
Well, the thing is too, is our modern diets are, wildly out of touch with trying to live like that. We eat a lot more food than we really need to live.
Right.
Especially these like these mother farming grocery stores that just like make everything so accessible and easy, and you can like
God
you
love
can get
them.
any kind of fruit from anywhere in the planet right now, like in our
Yes.
local metropolitan
We're so blessed to
area.
have that. We're blessed to have that.
Yeah,
But it does,
that's
like-
because of them now, and we're gonna get them. No, I'm just kidding. We love them, and it's amazing that we can live in this time too. We got access to information, and like we can click on things and send it to us. I can go down the road in my chariot I got my little orchestra I can turn on. Oh, I don't like that orchestra. Fuck off, guys. I want these guys. Mom, mom, gee. And next thing you know, it's like, what's going on? We're like just living this incredible time. It's amazing. It can go so many directions, and yeah, I'd love to see it slow down. If I didn't have to drive a car, and all my friends and family lived in the same valley, and I could walk around and maybe take a long walk sometime for a week to go see the big lake or the ocean and take some salt. You know, like, I mean,
It's
that'd
about
be a
trying
really
to
cool
live
feature.
some life, you know,
I mean,
too,
you
you
deserve
know,
it.
and having some good experiences that enrich your life, you know, and as far as
I don't have to worry about coming
as far as
across like some crazy chemical spill or whatever. That's creepy, right? So we need to like make sure that shit's getting cleaned up, and like we got like the right foods and things going through us
Absolutely.
that protect us from
We
that.
need to care.
Super suit, make our super suit. I mean, we got a super suit for this planet.
That's
It's
right.
made for it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm
That's
motivated.
what we've
I
been
feel
working for,
Yeah.
you know, many of us,
But
and the consumptions of the food, you know, you're putting your money where your mouth is, you know, spending your money on the people that are growing those foods and working and living in a responsible manner. As far as like doing edible landscaping and expecting to grow, you can supplement quite a lot of your diet out of that, but it's a lifestyle, really. If you want to be successful at it, it's something that you're going to develop your land and your property, and you're going to develop, you know, good connections, you know, with your local markets, with your local farmers, you know, and other groups that also help you supply things. It's really hard to do it all on your own.
Well, yeah.
You know, but I'm fortunate that, you know, in my family actually, you know, I'm well connected to information, and my older sister actually, she has experimented this right here in Cincinnati on a 10th acre right in Delhi, and she had taken upon herself to see how much food she could actually grow, and so she had committed, that was her job.
right.
So while her husband had, you know, his job and he was doing his thing, her job was to work and build this farm right on this 10th of acre in Delhi, and they actually managed to
Dude,
sell
hold on
it.
real quick. Like, have you ever heard people like they're from out of town and they call it deli? I love that.
Well, Cincinnati's
Sorry.
kind of funny.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
there's,
It's like
we
Del
have,
Hi.
yeah,
Hi.
we have a lot of parts of town that we say really funny here, like Cheviot, you know. I'm sure it's probably like Chevrolet or something.
I think it means like of the high. Right?
Okay.
Isn't that what
I
Del
don't know
Hi
about
means?
that.
Something
Sure.
like
I am. In fact. But, so,
Alright guys, calm down there. Woo!
but yeah, so like, it's interesting, you know, in experimenting with, you know, what we can do here in our modern day living. In fact, she's a published author, you know, for trying to live here, you know, and, you know, in suburbia and grow, you know, gardens.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you have to.
She
Yeah.
put together a
book?
great book.
What's
It
the book name?
communicates
What is it called?
permaculture
You know,
very well.
It's called.
What's
You
her
have to
name?
excuse me. I believe it's gardening for busy people. Kind of sort of thing.
Gardening for busy people.
I think so. I might be quoting the wrong book. Her name is Amy Strauss. You can find her
Amy
pretty
Strauss.
easily. She actually has multiple
Amy Strauss.
publications.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to not name her book correctly.
Same.
Right?
Oh, you gonna get it. Don't worry.
Right? I know.
You
It's
get the name right,
right.
so.
It's
I
funny
need to
because
tighten my
actually
bow
bought-
tie so I can remember the
I bought
library
boxes of her
bibliography.
books when she published, because I love to hand these to my customers that are especially interested. You know, just something that I have that I give them because, you know, it's really, you know, handy tool to have. And she actually, you know, does some very, you know, cool stuff. You
Yeah,
can
she
find some
does
things.
great stuff.
But, you know, if you want to dig a little
Reached a
deeper
lot of
into that,
people,
she
for sure.
actually, she's actually put it forth really, truly on her property. And it's really pretty amazing things that she's managed to do. So, you know, it's fun talking to Andy about this stuff. You know, and we have a whole lot of beliefs, but these people put it like really, really
Yeah.
into action.
Well,
You know, out in the world a little bit
Yeah,
more.
it's-
I'm just fun to like talk to and bounce ideas. because
Yeah,
I
we
do a
always
lot of
do.
conventional
We have
landscaping,
randomly seen
but
each other
I
at music
love
festivals too, which I love.
edible
that.
stuff, and that's what I talk to my customers about. Kusa dogwood, that's a
Kusa
good one.
dogwood's amazing.
Yeah,
Like when you
amazing.
get a big juicy kusa and you crack it open, it's yellow
That
inside.
one just blows people's
There's nothing
minds
like
when
it.
they eat Kusa dogwood.
It's
Yeah.
that's like
Who knew?
the unknown candy.
I used to go to the whole park and eat those all the time.
I mean, there's 100 grams, but these are like Starburst, like melty, juicy bonbons. You should try these sometime.
Yeah. It's but
All right,
yeah,
well-
permaculture. You know, that's how you're gonna build your edible landscape.
Thanks for being up here.
Yeah.
How do we connect?
Hi guys.
How do we
There's
find
so
out
many
more
questions.
information? How do we
Tell
connect?
how can we connect?
Find out more
Well,
information.
you can connect with me. My company name is Beautiful Earth. You know, we are at beautifulearthlandscaping.com. We do like to build, edible gardens and boxes for people, and it's fun work, and we love to talk to everyone. We want to connect. We want to connect.
Thank you, Tim. Now stick around. We're gonna have the gym show here.
That was
You guys ready to like exercise, move around? We're at the gym now.
I need to take
That's right.
notes
Come
sometime
on up, Jim.
so I can follow up with questions.
Join the floor.
Come on.
Step on
Come
up.
on.
It's
We're-
more
we're
knowledge.
Bring the
grinding.
love. Bring the
I
love.
have time for all this knowledge.
We got
I need to get him in.
this is long time homie here of mine.
Yeah.
Jungle Jimmy.
That's
And
right.
I go way back to when we were in a band, like, it was like a few days ago,
Yeah, that was a while.
in
That was a while ago.
high school realm. So we had this band called Chief Wiggum, so we're gonna definitely be talking about that, alright, Jim?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we're gonna definitely hit some music festival stories. But ultimately, I want to hear a little bit more too about whatever. After you do 2 minutes of whatever you want to say, talk about, sing about, whatever. I'm gonna hit the timer here.
All right. 2
Jimmy,
minutes.
Jimmy,
Mic check,
Jimmy,
mic check.
Jimmy,
Let me feel it out a little bit. Let me feel it. Break the seat up. All right.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Normal.
Alright, I'll give you me start. You get one rego, and then after that rego, it gets a little messy. So, alright, we got this, right? Right.
Yeah.
Shut the farm up.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Jimmy.
How you feeling? It sounds good.
Well. Okay. Testing. All right. Are we good?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Jim sounds great.
Thanks. I wish I had something interesting to talk about.
Check.
So what I was gonna kick off with was, there we go, we're rolling. That was really interesting, Tim. And I was sitting down there thinking, I came out tonight totally open to whatever would happen, and we had a conversation out in the lobby. And then you got up here and you dropped some serious knowledge, and it was pretty cool.
Thank you.
It got me thinking about a lot of things. Yeah, so it's like I want to reach out to this guy, and maybe I'm thinking about my own yard and what can I do. I've got young kids, so you had some nice stories about how well you raise your kids and all that stuff. And I was thinking about me in that respect, and then there's a little bit of edible action in the backyard is kind of could be really mind-opening. I mean, we talk about food a lot in the family due to I grew up in the food world. So yeah, that was good. That was good. And that's that part of that.
Yeah.
I got a minute right on the knot there. So so the bigger thing is when you leave your house, like Andy invited me to come onto this thing, and it's like you never know when you leave your house what experiences you're gonna have. And so tonight for me is one of those nights where this is cool hanging, and I'm a little more inspired now to see where the night goes because I didn't really come with anything to talk about.
Yes.
And we got to get back to that tea conversation because I seem to drop a little bit of
Oh,
a bomb.
what's up now? We talking about tea.
I mean, that's more than 2 minutes, but
Oh, wait.
we're not there. I just said at some point tonight it might happen,
Yes. Learn him.
but I didn't mean to disrupt the flow with that little bit there. So, we're almost there. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, and yeah, gotta make it all the way. Countdown. Singing? No singing. No.
I bet you have a beautiful singing voice.
All right, we made it.
Cool.
Wow. Coming right out of a jungle. They
Yeah.
tell us those mysterious encrypted codes. What you had like encrypted codes in that, didn't you?
Did I? Probably.
Can you decipher like one of them for us?
The jungle part?
Yeah.
How much do you already go into that whole bit?
How much do I want you to go into it? Like how much fun I mean, like I remember going to your house as kids and like I'd look out your window like before our band practice in your kitchen. There would be, you know, like most families would have like a bird feeder.
Right.
Tell them.
What did we have? I don't even know what we had. More bird feeders? A lot of bird feeders?
Like 300.
Was that back in the day? Yeah. My dad used
You
to bring
remember
home.
that?
So my father.
Oh, that's super cool.
It was amazing. There was so many
Should we, like-
birds.
Okay. So my name is Jim. My dad is Jungle Jim.
Yeah.
So yeah, growing up, he would bring
Out of the
home.
jungle.
That's right.
He'd bring home all the food that he didn't want to throw away because he doesn't like to waste food, and he would throw it out in the backyard. And so we had all kinds of crazy animals and creatures, and we had huge piles of food, not as big as this room, but you can imagine all the stale bread, all the old salamis, I mean anything. Doritos. So, yeah, so you saw that stuff? Yeah, that was back in high school, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and you guys had like this like, small bowling alley kind of thing in the basement.
We
And we
still
would have
have that.
bowling competitions.
Yeah, we still have that.
Yeah. Fun.
So yeah, we had a
Yeah,
band.
we had band practice in there. You know why we had band practice there? He was the
Drummer.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the drummer's where it's at.
Yeah, everybody loves
Dude, I didn't realize, man, I didn't realize I was like, you and all that. Dude, I used to come. I gotta show you some of the videos.
Used to
They
come
like-
where?
like we would
You watch
borrow.
us play? Oh, God.
Yeah, he was like he was in a marching band in high school too, and we would borrow the gong from the high school band room for our concerts and shit. It was so fun.
I was such a square, I still
We
am.
always had a secret weapon. Remember
You
the
guys,
secret weapon?
no, I don't. You guys were so, I was so.
You were such a stickler. Alright, now
Sorry
we're
to
gonna
touch
talk
you
about.
guys.
Can I bring up
I mean, you-
the music festival
Yeah,
story?
yeah, of course.
So I remember
That was probably the
I
last music
remember
festival I
Jim's
was at.
music festival. I remember his music festival.
Yeah.
He went there, and there was some amazing like phosphorescent paint all over him when he came back to the van one night. Remember, I had the red van, the Volkswagen van,
Parts.
and you came back there with some new friends, and they were all covered in phosphorescent paint.
Glowing.
I loved it. You were so happy, man. I swear.
Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
How old were you guys? When was this? What year?
That was our senior year of high school?
Yes, you're 17.
97.
What band was that? Like Stone Temple Pilots or something? What are you all talking about?
I
No.
think it was like some
Okay.
Ohio folk jam band.
Acoustic.
Cypress Hill or something?
Acoustic
Yeah,
hookah, because that was the only music
Hookah.
festival I've really been to. I was so scarred, I don't think I ever went to another one after that.
Oh wow. That was that was like did that to you. Now you like what would happen if you found yourself in the middle of a music festival right now?
You know, a lot of people go to them. I work with some people that talk about them, so maybe they're cool and I'm just sort of missing them and maybe I get into it, but it seems crazy to me.
Hey,
I had to just ask.
Well, do you ever go to
we at
like?
home.
I mean, you guys have all kinds of events at Jungle Gems.
Yeah, maybe
Some of them involve music, right? Do you go to those?
I don't think we don't do much music nowadays. I mean, there's bands playing. Maybe, yeah, not so
Wait a
much music.
second. Do you still play
you
the
have
drums?
little
I do.
automatrons that play.
You are still
do.
practicing the drums. Okay.
When I can play, when I get away, when the kids are not in the house, I usually play. And sometimes now with them, I play, and they really like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They jump on the couch and they get really into it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, even if you're horrible, you do that with your kids and they're going to love it. You'll be the best ever.
Yeah. I'm not horrible, but yeah.
I'm just saying, even if you are,
Of course he is.
I'm just,
No.
I believe that you're
But
pretty
you're
good.
right. I'm horrible
I
at
mean,
other
you
things.
may be
Shut up, old boy!
I believe that
I'm horrible at other
sure tonight.
Hit me, hit with
So we want to get through some things, you know, besides funny music festival stuff. That's funny, right? That's great. But it's just like, I love the adventures we've had playing in a band together in high school, Chief Wiggum. And we got second place
Yeah.
out of like 80 something bands in a competition.
Yeah. That,
We lost the last
Sounded
really
pretty
kick
nice.
butt ska band. I like
Yeah.
them too. They're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
They had stupid like penguin suits that, you know, all the
Yeah, we didn't put on
ladies
airs.
must have
We
liked
just
that.
came out and
Yeah.
played.
I think I had a pot on my head and some overalls or something weird like that.
Yeah, so my family, when I told them I was coming out to be on your podcast, they were like, "Oh my God, Andy! Oh, so great! What a great guy! Say hi, say hi." Yeah, you always leave a big impression on people.
Well, I have to be honest, I mean, your dad was like the only dad I ever met the first time when he was in a dinosaur suit.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
it definitely made an
Dinosaur.
impression on me, and like, I was definitely like, just like, you know, this is a great person. Like, he's totally following his bliss, his passion. You know, he's creating something out of a farm stand.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, over the years doing farmers markets, I've had like investor people be like, "Yeah, you'll never become, you know, like wealthy like doing a farm market." It's like I've seen like what like he had done, you know, while wearing a dinosaur suit and having a fucking great time, man. I love
No,
that.
he's- no,
I
he's
love
the-
that, man.
He's a real article. That is for sure, man. He's living his dream.
Yeah.
That place is like being inside his head in a weird kind of way.
How was it for you working there? Like, what are some of your roles? You work with them.
Yeah,
like, you're
working
doing
there,
a lot
yeah.
of it.
I'm trying to do as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like bagging groceries, checking people out.
Yeah, I've done some of that. It's been a lot. I've done some of that.
I'm just trying to pull some out.
My guy, probably not.
Right, I'm not a great. Well, it depends. I can go bagging. I'm a good bagger once I get a rhythm. It takes me a minute, but once I get a rhythm, I'm good.
Yeah, bags are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start. Yeah.
Bag it.
So I don't know what to say about that.
what's in the bag?
Yeah, some of the stuff people buy. That's what is cool at the jungle, to see some of the stuff that people buy. Because I would imagine, I don't want to dog at any other grocery stores, but bagging at a traditional grocery store probably be kind of boring. But at the jungle, it's like I got some things I recognize and I got some things I don't recognize. And
Yeah,
I put
there's
them
a
all
lot of
together.
like, there's so much stuff around you that your brain can just be like looking around. Yeah, this is so fun. Like, look at all this. Like, oh, is that like a crazy animal's head coming out of the rafters right there?
Yeah, someone bought the animal off the wall. That's
I like walking up and visiting the fish tanks. Have you ever done any work in the fish tank rooms at all, or been involved in that?
No, not officially. I was on TV.
No, officially.
I did a little bit. There you go. Hit.
That part.
That's
That
I
was a
love
good one.
punny, stupid things.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I can't do it.
Like how do you catch a squirrel?
I have no idea.
You climb up a tree, act like a nut, and it'll come right to you.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
I know.
Works every time!
And there's an old classic one that you probably heard it before. You know, like what's the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts?
Not sure.
You should know this. This is a grocery store thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, like beer nuts are usually like $3.99. You know, nowadays with inflation, I've been seeing more like $7.99.
Okay.
Have you seen that trend?
No, I've never even had a beer nut.
Okay, but have you ever had like deer nuts are usually under $1.
It's all about the setup. It's all about the setup. Well, I feel like, what do you want to hear, man?
I want to hear about some crazy foods,
What do
like
you do at the,
yeah, like what's your home there that you want to share about it? I mean, not the classified stuff, but of course.
No, I'm
we
trying
do
to-
want to hear that honestly. If you want to share.
and then
Behind the
tell us about
scenes,
some tea.
Doug and Jim's.
Ooh,
I
okay.
mean, what do you do there?
What am
Tell
I
us about
doing
some
there?
tea.
What am I doing? I'm trying to learn all the running kind of stuff. All the stuff that my dad's doing. He's not going to be around
Is
forever.
there like a room with like cranks and levers?
No,
and
yeah, in my
stuff?
mind there is.
Okay.
Like Willy
Okay.
Wonka.
In my mind there's that room.
Wow.
But I don't know
You ain't found it yet.
if that room exists except in my dad's mind. So it's like two different worlds. We're very
Right,
different.
because I was in my
Have
mind.
you ever thought about trying to work with some people to design a room that would be able to do all that? Which you would just be, it almost be like a room that you can move in all directions. Maybe there's wind coming up from the floor, so you're kind of floating. You can even
Okay.
wear a cape some days.
Yeah, no, I never thought about that. But I like the idea. I can picture it.
This is like, I mean, just for reference for everybody here, like this is a normal conversation with me, right?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So did I answer that question? Because I want to do the audience right. Yeah, I'm trying to do all this, learn about all the employees, how it all works, be a good leader. That's really what I'm trying to do.
Do you feel
Well, that's
motivated?
what-
Yeah.
Like, is that? Do you feel like that's something you want to do, or do you feel obligated?
No, I don't feel obligated to do it.
That's awesome.
I don't feel obligated, but I
Give it a life.
do.
It's fun.
I do think
It's fun.
if I try it for a while and I'm giving it my all and it's not working out, there might be something else for me. But right now, I'm fully engaged in trying to see what I can do at that place.
I feel
Thank
like
you.
that.
Thank
I really. Oh.
So
I only want to see that place get cooler.
yeah, because that place is so cool.
We should have a music festival.
We could do anything. There.
That's an amazing idea. What about that rail system that's up at the Fairfield?
The monorail.
The monorail.
What about it?
Does it move?
Yeah, it moves.
When is it? I've never seen it move.
We're not there enough.
When does it move?
We use it.
When can people go there and use it?
You have to. We use it for events.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's
So
an
we'll have
event.
that
So
for
like
music
next
festival.
weekend, this weekend, wine festival. It'll be running.
So you're at
Oh,
festival.
nice.
We have festivals.
He's at festival.
They're food focused, not music focused.
Did you guys hear that? He's at
No,
festival.
they're not listening. They're not paying attention. They're not listening.
Oh my god. Hit a button or something.
Hit the festival button, would you?
He's talking about the more festivals. This guy's been to so many festivals.
I've been to a lot of
Like,
festivals.
what are you guys thinking?
I mean, that's
No,
fucking
I don't
Been
think
to
I
Burning
got it.
Man?
Yeah,
I don't think I got it.
you've been really into wine. Like, can you tell us
Don't get me
something?
talking about wine.
Just
Is
like,
that your
like in
thing?
a like maybe short bit, then like the most interesting things you've learned about wine that would just make us have something that we can go to our next table conversation with and sound really intelligent by
Okay.
sharing. Like, yeah, I learned this.
Well, I think wine is extremely misunderstood in this country.
In what way?
So many ways. People got it so backwards. It's not a luxury item. It is to be looked at as an everyday thing.
Oh, a table one.
What
the actual
yeah,
fuck? Wine is supposed to be
Italian.
Wine is supposed to be simple. Wine is supposed to be simple, not all this complicated aging, not all these terminology and all this stuff. It's just supposed to be something simple that you enjoy in a very simple manner. Yeah, that's the thing I would say. So when you go to the grocery store, it's all about complicating it. Does that make sense? To create a distance. So you got to see the person to tell you about the wine. But that's like the industry of wine. But wine itself is just a simple thing that should be enjoyed. It's just a simple thing that should be enjoyed. It's just a simple thing that should be enjoyed. It's just a simple thing that should be enjoyed.
Well, yeah.
Does that
I
It
love
doesn't
the
mean drink
voice
cheap
when
wine.
you
I'm not
say
saying
enjoy.
drink. I'm not saying drink cheap wine. I'm not saying drink expensive wine. I'm just saying there's wine should be simple and it should be good.
So does that
Use
translate
that
in
E-word,
the
E-word again. I
E
love
word?
it, Yeah.
Expensive?
Enjoy.
Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah.
It's just a simple thing that should be enjoyed. It's just a simple thing that should be enjoyed.
So how do we take the complications out of it?
You know what? The first thing I would do is just find one. You gotta pick a grape that you like. So I don't care what grape it is. Merlot, Cabernet, white wine. White wines, people don't like white wines. They don't know what they're talking about. White wine is where it's at. But again, none of these wines are sweet. I'm not talking about sweet wines.
I like full.
Yeah, if you're drinking sweet
Like
wine, you
a
gotta
Folsch.
get off sweet wine because the world of wine is really dry wines. There's so few sweet wines. You're gonna miss the world of wine. So get off the sweet wines. Get into some dry wines. Just pick one grape. Pick Sauvignon Blanc. I don't care what it is. And just only drink that wine. Only drink that grape for like a year.
Whoa.
And drink all different brands and all different types and really hone in on one grape.
question?
That's quite a meditation.
As
for
far as
a
the
whole year.
translation for your philosophy, when you walk into the world of wine, as that might translate into your business, right? Is is there a way to engage? How might that translate into the affair when someone's walking into the facility, and that experience of going through, can that vision in wine translate into the actual experience in the market?
That's a whole other thing. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the setup is kind of working against that. We're like, here's all this wine from all these different places and all these different grapes. It's overwhelming. So you gotta like parse it yourself.
Watch
Or,
what you do with it.
yeah, or you gotta grab somebody and say, hey, look, I want to slow me down, take me where I need to be going, not where all this stuff's telling me I should be going.
Yeah.
But
So you have a vision in that department, and it's
no, I don't know if that
sounds
needs a
like-
change because I don't know. Maybe there could be a
It's
code,
just
but
one
that
of
whole
your
store.
interests that you have a passion for.
But that whole store is about overwhelming people. We don't do that on purpose, but that's how we have all those products. That's what happens. But yeah, there's ways it could be reorganized and changed.
It
but
is
It's
amazing
provided
how for
out.
me, like being like somebody that gets diagnosed with ADD or
Yeah.
something like that, how
Shut the farm up.
There are a lot
when
of
I go into
different
jungle gyms, it makes more sense to me than most grocery stores, which are just like these linear like biscuits. They look
Okay.
like most grocery stores look like Triscuits. Jungle gyms is like a forest. Like there's like these paths that you go through.
Yeah,
And to
for
me,
sure.
it's a lot less overwhelming than most grocery stores, honestly.
Okay.
And I love the joy of like, there's the feeling like when you're walking through a forest where there's phenomenons where you see something that you don't see every day. Like all of a sudden there's like a pile of like cool little hats or some kind of clay jars that are like stacked up somewhere, and then all of a sudden you're in another part of the world.
You're right.
It's fascinating.
You're right.
Definitely a lot more like walking through a forest than like your traditional sterile grocery store. People often look happier there too, and I do observe like zombie effect of people in grocery stores and the common like little road grocery stores where they're kind of like just like they don't even talk and they're just kind of walking along. Then all of a sudden they stop and they almost like robotically take a little box off and drop it in their cart. And then they drive over you with their cart and they don't even acknowledge it. It's happened to me before, honestly. Like, not at jungle gyms.
Oh, you're right.
You
It's
have to
like forest.
engage at jungle gym.
Yeah, I would say our shoppers. We have some to shop jungle gyms. You gotta be a tough shopper. You have to commit to jungle gyms. You gotta come back a couple times, and you gotta figure it out.
It's tough
Yeah.
to be good.
Yeah.
Tough.
So that's the thing about wine. One more thing with the wine.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick one grape for a year. I might have misspoke, but what I would think you need to do is you gotta be okay to open a couple wines at one time. You can't drink
Taste the
one.
palate.
You can't drink one wine and
To have
2 weeks
like a
later drink
flight.
another wine. You gotta have multiple wines at one time.
Get a little flight.
You gotta get a flight
Then
going.
you can taste the differences.
That's when you can start.
compare.
You can start cataloging your brain.
What do you think about pairings? So something that I found fun with this podcast often on the typed in thing that you see like on the different programs that display it, it'll have a description of the show. And at the bottom of it it'll say this show pairs well with jogging and kombucha or Earl Grey tea.
They do that on podcasts, pairing.
That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
Okay.
do. So I thought you might be interested, and I want to hear about like what you think. That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
That's what I do. So I thought you might be interested, and I want to hear about like what you think about pairing an actual wine, which is where the joke comes from.
YouTube, man.
I
I gotta
Like,
say,
you
just
had
pause
it
it.
there, I love
I'll
that.
clown you two guys right now.
No, I would love
You
that.
two guys, man.
Are we being crazy?
You
Yeah,
two
what's
guys,
this?
man.
This is
Their
all
energy
right.
is like it's good.
Okay, I hope
Good,
so.
super cool. Also,
No, I think pairing wine is another thing that people don't really understand or they overcomplicate. You know, I would like, for instance, if we're having dinner or we go to an Italian restaurant, I'm drinking Italian wine. It doesn't matter. If I'm at a Spanish restaurant, I'm drinking Spanish wine. If I'm French, I'm drinking French wine. It's not happening. I'm not mixing in California with France. I'm not doing it.
It don't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Back to the molecules. Back to the molecules.
Energized right
And
there.
really, technically, I don't even know if it makes sense to
Like when you're
drink.
in Kentucky, do you bourbon?
Yeah.
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 The fun, yeah.
But I'm even starting.
Ain't you heard anything he said
Yeah.
tonight?
I'm even starting to think this is kind of extreme. This is kind of extreme talk, but I'm even thinking that you really shouldn't even be drinking wine from other places unless you're in that place,
In the actual country.
in the actual country, because you're just pretending.
No, high five to him on this one.
Wow! That was big with the crowd!
That's big. Wait,
Jim,
farm up,
Jim,
love
Jim,
that.
Jim.
Love that.
Yeah,
Hey!
I'm drooling.
this is the militant wing of the food world I'm talking about.
If you want vine,
Alright.
you must grow the grapes.
But it's back to what you're talking about with molecules. That the food, like say you're in another country, or you're in California, or whatever. The molecules in the air, the earth, the soil, that's all going into the food, the wine, everything you consume. It's all like one
Wow.
ecosystem. But when you start to mix things from other places, it's not the same thing.
When you that's how you're referring to it with pairing. So like if you take wine and mix it with something from far away.
Yeah, it's not really.
You
It's
would
not really.
want
You should be pairing
a
at a
local,
molecular level.
like from that area pairing.
You should be pairing at a molecular level, or an origin level, than a flavor level.
I like that. Yep, I think so too.
But no one thinks like that. This is
Oh, yeah.
this
Yeah,
is weird. This is kind of weird talk.
People want
Don't
to.
take me that far.
People
They
want
want-
to, and they want to learn how to, and that's part of, like I think part of what people can learn from this show over time, different episodes going into different topics of different things that are local to different regions even. Like we were talking about the pendo palms down, they can grow in Florida. They're not native to there, so it would be even more of a pairing in its place of native, and in my mind, like, as opposed to like, yeah, it grew in Florida and I had it with a wine grown and made in Florida. So that's a good pairing, right? I would think so.
In my mind, I think it is. I think that's a better place to start. It's a more natural place to start.
Yeah. And it only just gets better, like the more like the higher up the the hierarchies of flavor, like molecular like enhancement of place and time.
So I'm talking all this stuff, but what I realized when you guys were talking, I don't know anything about. I'm talking a big game about plants and wine, but I really don't know much about planting. I've never really planted anything, So I'm really on the outside.
Well, I met a wine distiller in California and one in Madison, Indiana, who both told me that there are people that grow grapes and there are people that make wine. Rarely, does it really, get a good quality wine if it's not a community kind of effort going into it? A great person really focusing and being able to focus on growing those grapes, growing the healthiest grapes, the best they can.
That's good. I just actually learned that. We were in Italy a couple weeks ago, and there's the grape growers and then there's the winemakers, 100%.
Yeah.
And the two of them collaborate. I didn't really get into it because I wanted to learn more about that, but yeah, it's like two different worlds. And the winemaking process kind of happens in the cellar. The grape growing process in the fields, get the best product you can get off of those grapes. I'll let the winemaker do their thing. Yeah, that's good. You're right, man. You're on it.
Are you familiar with people using sheep in the vineyards?
I just heard about that too.
Okay.
Because the way they
Brilliant
eat the grass,
system. Yeah.
they actually aerate, they pull the grass up. The way
Permaculture. And they fertilize the soil with their manure and they keep the grass so you don't have to bring mowers in. You don't have to. A lot of grape growers in this region that have larger vineyards, they'll spray a glyphosate along the ground to kill the grass. And you don't have to do that. You got sheep that are just munching it down.
But we were talking with one guy in Italy about biodynamic farming, and he said the sheep, but he said this a particular way they eat actually lifts the grass roots up a little bit and aerates the ground.
Perfect.
And then they said they get
Water
snails.
can get in.
And they said if they get snails in the vineyard, that's another thing people spray for. But if you just put ducks in your vineyard, the ducks eat the snails. So
And if you have a bunch of French people, it's just another harvest.
just keep it going.
Escargot.
Yeah, and that. And that.
12 snails.
That's that, guys.
Plate dinner special, please. Local 12 now, parallel and local wine. Very slimy. So good. Very nice.
Tender.
Some kind of water.
Yeah. So yeah, Ohio has a pretty special place in wine history.
Okay.
Yeah, Ohio was one of the first places to start vineyards in the whole country.
That's where we
Wow, I
are.
actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
the
where we are.
Longworth.
We're in Ohio.
Yeah, and it's like the
Right here.
10th largest wine consuming state in the country still. So Ohio has a special place in American wine culture. Yeah.
Go Ohio.
What do you know
Drink
about
local.
Like I said, Longworth came here. I think he was. I just heard something on
that? I
the radio.
said Catawba.
Catawba.
Is
Yeah.
that
Catawba.
familiar?
Catawba.
Catawba?
Catawba.
Okay, I
Yeah.
would say Catawba for some reason.
No, I don't know why you say that.
It's just
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
elf in
Like
me. It's like,
Longworth,
I mean, it's a common name, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you see.
That's one of our native grapes
Yeah,
to
that's
Ohio.
a big one. Yeah,
Right?
for sure. For sure.
They're really good, big purple grape.
Yeah.
What do you think of the seeds inside of them?
I don't know. I love grapes with seeds. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
What do you like about the seeds? Do you crunch them up?
Yeah, bite them up.
Yeah, they're
Heck
like
yeah, bite 'em up.
nerds. They're like nerds,
They're
Stefan.
like nerds from
like
God.
nerds.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
yeah.
If you got purple grapes and white grapes, oh, you can like, it's like having the nerd pack that had two different colors.
Yeah. Well, yeah, people are like, what are those? Like a bunch of spit out grape seeds. Are those nerds? What flavor are
No,
those?
you gotta crunch them.
No, I do crunch. So there's another thing. I guess I was just at a
Grape
produce show.
seed extract, so good for
I
you
know.
too.
I was just at a produce show in Atlanta. So we're talking about the food culture. And everyone's talking about grapes from around the world. You can get, like you just said, you can get produce
Wow.
around the world all the time in America. And everyone's talking about these new grapes. They're working on a new variety, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the conversation, I say, it's a shame because I like grapes with seeds. And they looked at me
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
What's the
nobody
Yeah,
grows
we-
grapes with seeds.
I
We
know,
talked
but
about like watermelon
that's the
seeds.
question. Why is there no grapes with seeds
Because
anymore?
people are soft.
What the
I mean,
actual
no,
farm?
I mean.
That's what I'm talking about.
really,
Farm
With the
with the
I
farm
haven't
farm.
seen
Oh.
it in a long time because I'm trying to find a grape with a seed.
She's talking about modifications.
I can
She's
get you
talking
vines and
about
then like
modification and
several
stuff.
years
No, I'm
later.
just
I
wondering,
don't
like,
know how I am,
no, I'm not talking about modification, I'm just saying, they all say seedless grapes. I'm just trying to find grapes with seeds, and I'm
You
like,
probably
great.
find them on the internet, honestly.
Yeah, you got a special order.
Do you have them at Jungle Gym?
I
Do you
mean,
have
when
any
did
grapes with
grapes
seeds?
start? I mean,
You guys
isn't
carry
that,
a wide variety of.
is it just
you-
me that
I
realizing
mean,
like
do you have
when did
muscadines?
grapes stop having
Sometimes.
seeds?
I think
They've
I've
done
seen
it with
muscadine
wine.
things.
Grapes with seeds.
Muscadines are an amazing
Where?
southern grape.
Kroger.
I think our
He just said,
What?
muscadines are a good southern grape.
I
They're
never
long,
thought-
they're much larger.
I could
never Okay, remember. Yeah.
Fairly
I
easy
haven't-
to
I
grow.
haven't
They're
like-
almost
Maybe
kind
in
of
the last couple
wildish
of
in
years
a way.
It had
I
been like,
I know, I've
Ten
had
years.
You know I like that, right? Like
Yeah, I know you
wild
like that.
plants like the
Maybe
pawpaws,
you got
the
that.
persimmons. We've had persimmons at
Oh,
the show
persimmons are
before,
great.
and pawpaws. And, oh man,
Grapes with seeds, man. Because
There's-
I always tell people when they
there's
say,
muscadines. They have seeds.
Yeah, I'm sure they
They're
do.
but
wild.
why? Why we don't have grape with seeds?
because people are soft. They don't like to have to deal with stuff.
I mean, we
Pomegranates.
don't have them in this room right now because they're not in season. Just to be honest with you, when they are in season, I would be like totally feeding you as many of them as I could.
I mean, but what
I have them.
happens
I
to
got them
seeds?
growing like on
Grapes.
vines, like off the south side of my house. They grow along the greenhouse panels, so in the summer it kind of shades the greenhouse a little bit
seeded
too.
grapes.
Is this a different process than when it comes to having, like, because even it's like with the trees, are they like breeding different things with fruit to make
I wish I
things
knew.
have? I mean,
Well, there's
I just know that
grafting.
seeds
We've
are out.
talked about grafting. So a Native American variety of the grape has actually saved European grape industry. I don't know if you've heard that story.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you
the
know
wine
much about
industry.
that?
Yeah, the wine industry.
There was a root rot on the native European grapevines
Phylloxera.
that the American grape was okay with. And so they were able to graft on some of these old varieties on
Yeah,
the
that saved the
root
whole
stock, and it
European
saved
wine.
that wine industry, which is interesting.
Grafting is very, very neat process.
What's it
Like how are people
Yeah.
like making new weird
no,
grapes?
I
No.
just feel like why grapes don't have seeds? Like
It's
that's
seeds.
just
The
like,
issue with seeds.
Breeding.
Because
Well, you know what, we have-
they selected a grape. They kept planting them seed from seed in vineyards for selecting
so
for
they
the ones
bred
with the
them out.
smallest seed. Because you'll notice inside there's little tiny almost seeds.
Yeah,
and
but
a
not.
seedless
They
grape.
don't develop enough.
So they selected them until they had a plant, one vine
So they grafted them
that
out.
would not have that seed in it. And then
Yeah.
they could make these
So
varieties.
they HMO genetically modify our grapes so they would not be able
then they
to
just
have
clone it.
seeds
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, and our children.
Then they are.
I mean, I just wanted to hear
Statistically,
somebody
but-
say, because I'm like, is it just me or like what?
A lot of people look for. Actually, there are people that look for.
Yeah,
what you were talking about the
So
seeds,
as-
like what you said at your conference.
Yeah,
I
as
was
Hope-
interested
there's Hope
with
Day
the conference
preppers.
about
It was
fruit,
cool.
too.
I'm gonna do a podcast about that because it was cool.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
part of
it
the show was cool.
Really
That's cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
There's Host Day preppers that are, trying to preserve and grow and share and produce more food that has seed that's viable. Like I was showing you that hardy orange earlier, and it's got like inside of it enough to make 30 trees in it. And that's not proprietary. That's for everybody. That's the amazing gift of it. Where a grape that has no seed in it, it's a meal one time, and then you don't get to go fishing. It's not like you give a man a fish. And then there's someone like Story there, give a man a fish, and somehow he has grapes.
Yeah, the great fisherman. That story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like grapes with seeds. You need the bitterness to balance out the sweetness. That's just basic.
I just don't buy any fruit that doesn't have a seed because I don't
It's
feel
hard.
like. But then I haven't had a grape in so long
At the jungle we get them once a year.
Really?
yeah, I haven't had a grape I don't even remember. But as we talking about it, I remember having a grapes when I was little. Oh my, they were
Talking about marketing, we got Jimmy Jungle here. Jim, what can we do to market things? I even think about Jerusalem, or not Jerusalem artichokes, but artichoke hearts. How did they become so mainstream? That people buy them. How can we market and it's just brainstorm for fun. All these different things. Paws are getting more recognition, but there's a lot of other amazing foods and flavors and things that are out there that could be marketed somehow, which would eventually generate people farmaging them and creating systems and doing edible landscapes with them more so they can have them for themselves. There's things like aronia berries, which is one that I would love to see marketed more. Eating them gives your body more resilience to radiation, and we're exposed to more radiation now than at least certain kinds of radiation. I mean, there's other time periods that I'm sure we've had radiations of sorts. But it's how can we market these things and make them more common?
How can we cut through the raise to the top some of these lesser known things? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Get them up there with artichoke hearts. I mean, that's a weird plant. It's a thistle, which is spiky as can be, and it's a biannual, which means it's a 2-year cycle plant. So the first year it's just vegetating there. Then the second year it sends up a flower stalk, and you cut off the flower head. And that's all. And it's 2 years. You're taking up all this space. I've seen monocrop fields of it. It's just insane. It's beautiful at the same time, but it's weird. What a weird thing.
And then then it was monoculture. So that's the bad part of it, right? It's unknown, then it becomes interesting, and then it becomes monoculture.
I love them.
Okay.
I mean, it's beautiful seeing the monoculture. I'd love to see it more in diverse systems, of course.
Right.
Observing it though, just as it's taken up 2 years of space of growing, where a lot of other things could be growing more efficiently as a food source, but they're highly valued. So people put energy into making these things happen. People are voting with their dollars. How can we get people to vote for some more of these other things and actually create an interest so homesteaders and farms would want to be able to actually plant rows of 1,000 aronia berries or rows of 1,000 goji berries or different things and have these be more productive.
Well, to answer it honestly, and I don't mean to plug the jungle, but I think grocery stores or places like Jungle Gyms are a great place for that to happen because you've got a lot of customers coming in and you can introduce them to new products. So a produce team like ours that cares, they'll bring, let's say, aronia berries. Maybe it's a small display. But if they see you looking at it, they're going to walk up and tell you about it, you're going to buy them and try them, and slowly get enough customers to be aware of it. And we've started a lot of brands because we're large enough, we're independent, so you can approach the ownership and say, hey, we'd love you to try our product in your store. And we go, hey, we love that new stuff. and you don't have to pay anybody to be in our store. You know, there's nobody to talk to except just the owners. So we can get products off the ground where there's no way you can get your item into a large grocery store. There's no way. So I say a place like the Jungle, again, I'm not trying to plug the store. That's a place where you can expose to a lot of people.
That's what makes it so beautiful, that even if Kroger starts selling things like, you know, say Starfruit or some shit like that, you know, that's not going to stop me from going to Jungle to go see what you guys have anyway. And that's and like you said, like, it's great that you both can be from the same city, and we really get a great experience at Jungle Games.
I mean, because who really competes with Kroger? Ain't nobody competing with Kroger.
Nobody's competing. Yeah,
There's no market.
Yeah, I don't even want to say your name anymore in this show. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
is that the bad?
can we just say okay, Roger, or something?
Okay, Rogers.
All right, okay, Roger.
Very
Well,
I'm just
you know-
kidding. I just don't want to add to, you know, like,
Is it being
like
negative?
if they pay me, like, do you think they should pay us for saying their name that many times? Or do
Oh,
you
bleep
think
it
like,
out.
You know, I need to be fly.
wake the farm up?
You've never
We
been?
didn't necessarily.
You've never been?
Just one click.
I drove back
Never.
and I'm like, that's too much for a grocery store. So that's like,
This is
but I didn't
okay.
know it was so
Time
amazing.
question
Okay, well-
time.
Lychee fruit, you familiar with those?
Yeah.
You pop those open
Yeah.
and
You guys are killing me.
and you can use those for Halloween, like for
Oh,
eyeballs.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Forget. I didn't forget. You started beef.
I mean, you guys
You
probably know
started
more
a
about than I
thing.
do.
No, we're getting in the ring.
Sounds like
Yeah.
In the ring.
Yeah.
T. Camellia sinensis.
Oh,
That's
he's
T.
going.
Shamalama.
Andy,
Yeah.
there's
Shamalama.
part in, buddy.
Yeah, so
We're
what
tag
do you-
teaming, man, on this one.
What do
bro.
you
This is
pair?
just
What do you
me
pair
alone.
well with tea?
I don't know anything about tea pairing. Nuts.
Oh.
Nuts. Salty nuts.
That sounds good.
Little
Yeah.
slightly sweet snacks.
Like
That's
what
it.
would resonate best with my molecules
Man,
would
tea
be
and
like
crumpets.
some local
Come
tea
on.
or something.
Thank you.
No.
I need
What's
one of
going on
those
over here with the
tea and-
necromancer, man? He's
English
just
biscuits.
He's lost it.
yeah, I think he- farm?
I'm not even trying to pair tea. I think tea
Pairing
is so
on his
beautiful
tea.
on its own.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta pair tea
You
with
really
anything.
Tea
You are trying
is
to do
good.
that.
Cookies with tea.
What's that?
Tea
You have tea
bag.
cookies.
Tea
with
were,
tea.
I
yeah.
mean, but you can really cheapen tea
Yeah,
with other
tea.
things. Yeah, it's just all
You were trying to make
Yeah.
tea more
I
than
make
it is.
tea out of chickens. We talked about that before. You know, like put chickens in
boba.
water and you like make a
I like
tea out of it and you drink it. So good.
Tea out of
You ever do
chickens?
that?
Chicken tea?
Yeah,
Just
you
put a
do
chicken in
tea.
hot water?
Yeah,
Stop
boil it for a
guys.
while.
Okay.
There's
I'm good
decoctions
on that.
and there's infusions. You know about that?
No, hit me.
Alright, so a decoction,
infusion.
you're boiling it. So a chicken tea would be a decoction.
So like
Or
ramen
like
broth?
ginger root would be a
Ramen broth.
decoction. You would like boil the root and it would pull all those like
Okay.
that sap out of there.
Decoction.
But
I
a
like
chicken,
it.
a raw chicken boil,
Yeah.
and you drink the juice, I guess that end up being broth, right?
Yeah, soup. That's
Yeah,
what most people
right.
call it, but I just call it chicken tea.
Now that I put the math.
I call it chicken tea, but like
Like,
most
this in my
people
mouth,
call
like,
it chicken tea.
no.
If
Like,
you're
It's like,
drinking
you
it
need
from
some
a
chicken
cup,
tea for your soul.
yeah, that's how
You
they
saw that?
broth.
You need some of that for your soul. Chicken
Yeah.
tea for your soul.
A decoction, I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, and then there's infusions, and that's like the common tea where you heat water up to a boiling point, or in more refined tea culture, like there's specific boiling points with different kinds of
Yeah,
green teas
temperature.
and
You
black
want
tea.
to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Some, you know, you want to hit right at 118
Right.
so it's warm.
118.
Enzyme exact, you know, like activated still. Some are like at 180, and some you can go to 212, like right at that boiling point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh, I hear you.
You just pour it on top. That's an infusion. So like when you take a bath, when you first get in, it's just like you're making an infusion.
Of yourself.
You're not
That's right,
boiling.
self-infusion.
But if you
Oh,
take a
that's why
shower,
it's so
you're
good.
kind of
That's why it's
it
so
might be
good.
more of a
It's
decoction on the
so
bottom
good.
if you store it up.
Okay.
No,
I like it. I like it.
That's I call that like a personal tea, like when I'm making myself a tea. Yeah, the T word's thrown around a lot. Like, if you get really, like, some people that get super uptight about it, like, it's not a T unless it's camellia sinensis.
Yeah, that's me.
That's it. It needs to be that. Whether it's black tea or green tea. But you can't take a bunch of catnip and nettles and put them in hot water and call it tea.
No.
It's a tisane.
Yeah. There's a
Like
name
that,
for that.
yeah.
They already came up with a name for that.
What
Yeah.
is
What is
it?
that
What is
name?
it?
Tisane. Tisane.
Yeah.
Oh, T, that's insane.
Tisane. Yeah, I like it. It's like
That's
tea
it.
that's insane.
I like that.
Yeah.
Tea
You
song. I
like
say
it?
tea
You
song.
like it?
Oh, pine needle tisson.
That's what
Pine
it
needle
is.
Do you have the tea or
Pine needle tisson.
Oh, it's a song.
Just don't call it tea. That's all I care about.
Some people call it
Oh man.
tisane.
Yeah. So that's a cool thing
Some
about
people
tea.
call it like tisane.
Yeah. Tea is the
Do you know any
plant.
other ways people call
No,
it?
I never heard. No.
I've heard tisane.
I get so excited when people even use that word. I don't care how they say it.
Do you like the ways I'm saying it? Which
Yeah, the
one
ways
is it?
you're
Yeah,
doing. You're
I can
doing
do
a lot.
it in dub. You ready?
Yeah.
Same.
What should we talk about? Dub music?
Same. You like dub music?
I love
You ever
dub.
play that in the
I
drum?
love dub
What?
music.
Yeah, what's your favorite? Like, just like
I'll
moving
fix
into
it.
it for a while, like instrumental kind of dub. You like when they're all
I'm more instrumental.
like
I'm
they're
just-
saying things like same.
No, I'm more an instrumental guy. But no, man, dub music is. If I could go to dub is the stuff.
If I was hanging out with you and you turned on dub, I'd just be sitting there going same. It'd be great. We'd have a good time. I know you'd love it.
Yeah, we could have been a dub band in college or in high school.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm going there for sure.
Yeah, that was a good experience.
Well,
That kind of broke me out of my
Jackal's
shell.
coming.
Yeah.
Jackal's coming.
You gotta take your pants off. That was that one.
Take your
movie
pants
song.
off. Take your pants off.
Y'all want to do one of the songs?
We're going through a couple pieces. That's about it.
My weird world. The one thing I want.
Yeah.
It's like
I do
the stuff you want, the stuff you think the stuff you want to pass on to your kids, they probably don't want anything of. But like the thing I want to impart to them is just the concept of nuance. Like if my kids can take that from me, whether they get into it or not, I'm into nuance. If they're not into it, that's fine. But I want them to be like, my dad always talked about nuance. You gotta pay attention to little details, the sound of something, the feel of something, the texture. I want to be that guy. Yeah.
Joy. Yeah.
So
I like the texture of the way you say enjoy. Will you just give it to us one more time?
enjoy. Did I say that again?
Yeah, say it again.
Enjoy. Enjoy. So yeah, like I said, you guys kind of opened my mind a little bit about thinking about edibles.
Oh, what do you think
Edibles
about
in the,
edibles? Hey, you like gummy bears and stuff? What do they call it? Like, are you allowed to have those at your store?
We have edibles. We have CBD and a Delta 8. I don't know what all that stuff is.
That's like decaf.
Decaf.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ohio might come.
Yeah. I like the caffeinated. I'm more on the caffeinated side of things.
Yeah.
I bet you would enjoy like a nice refined, like pre-rolled blunt, like cigar-y, almost blunt kind of roll.
Yeah, we might have it pegged.
Yeah.
Maybe we get motivated. I don't know. Maybe I'll
All over the world.
Ohio, get motivated.
get motivated.
Let's get it on the ballot.
I honestly think another round.
I'll tell you what, I can talk about that produce show for probably another hour.
I'd love to hear about
It
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, we should wrap the
No, I
show
know.
up, but I
It
don't
was
want
cool.
to. I love having you here. I love talking.
All right, that wraps up another Wake the Farm Up, Maintaining Ground episode. Thanks for joining us today. Some amazing words came up like tisanes, nuance. Amazing what we're going to be. Everybody's just wondering what wild food is Andy going to talk about, reminding him of some candy that he ate.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had a great time. Come to the live show sometime, or organize in your community a venue where we could come to a Wake the Farm Up show. That would be fun. We're looking forward to getting this thing on the road. Redbirds taste like peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Part of the night.
That's right.
right after New.
Coosa Dogwood. Where did the grape seeds go? Music festivals, edible landscaping, crazy foods, Jungle Jim. Thanks. We'll be recording again. Look forward to sharing more of this energy with you. Wake the farm up. See you on the next episode. Thanks to all of you. We love you. Appreciate you so much.